December is a time of reflection. And this year, we're reflecting on 2020. The year that many of us will never forget and many of us would like to forget. And there are 3 traits that, as I'm reflecting, are coming to the top of the traits that have made business owners that I have observed, either from close or far, successful. The first is innovation. If necessity is the mother of invention, this year made innovation completely necessary. Everything that worked didn't work anymore. And I've seen a ton of innovations happen this year. Many business owners have had to figure out how to throw things at the wall with some level of systematic intelligence and see what sticks. And then they've had to learn to take all of that leftover goo on the wall that didn't quite stick and it's dripping down, clean it up, throw it in the trash, and try again until they did find the idea that stuck. I was talking to a business owner the other day who told me they had 4 services they tried to launch this year, and 3 of them they had the can, but 1 killed it, and they're going to keep doing it. That 1 is going to be the foundation of high growth, not only during COVID, but beyond. That is innovation. Not every idea you had this year stuck. I'm confident. I know every idea I had didn't stuck, but I'm also confident that 1 or 2 of them will be the thing that sets you apart next year. So grab onto that and congratulate yourself for innovating in a time of difficulty, which leads me to my next attribute, resilience. This was a tough year, man. You know why? So our brain, the executive functioning, the prefrontal cortex, takes a lot of energy, and it can only focus on one thing at a time. And so how it survives is it pushes everything to the parts of your brain that really run on autopilot. That's why we are so good at making assumptions, jumping to conclusions, and executing on something without ever consciously processing it. There's no way we actually physically have the energy to support conscious processing of everything that we do. Well, when you're in a situation like we were in this year with all of the novelty and all of the newness constantly being thrown at us, that meant that executive functioning was having to work a lot. And it's exhausting. We had kids at home. We were trying to figure out how to be teachers. Many of us were, not all of us. Some of us were trying to figure out how to lead remotely or keep our people safe or launch new services, whatever it was, while we were keeping ourselves healthy and working in a different environment. Your office might have changed. You might be working somewhere completely different than you were before. And all of these patterns and things combined together, all of that novelty can be exhausting. So our ability to be resilient in the face of that, our ability to make as many new habits and form them as quickly as possible so we could focus on what matters, our ability to make choices, to not focus on certain things or to forgive ourselves certain things or forgive our teams certain things, that created resiliency to get through these tough times and into what will hopefully be a better, at least second half of 2021. Which leads me to the third thing. Leading and developing strong teams. And that is what I'm going to be talking about for the next several months in our newsletters. How do you hire the kind of people that are going to make you wildly successful? How do you incent them and motivate them? How do you build them up? How do you develop them? How do you understand why you're losing people and use it to make better decisions, to hire better fits, to put people in a position to be successful more readily, to solve and close gaps that are keeping you from retaining your strongest employees? We're going to cover all that and more. Because this year, your employees might have been remote. Suddenly you're figuring out how to lead a remote team. Or they might have been in the field and you're figuring out how to keep them safe. Whether you were hiring or laying off or trying to get people to come back into the office and create a safe space for them so that they could come back and wanted to come back. All of these things were so difficult. All of these things tested our capabilities as a leader, whether you were growing or contracting this year. And I know people who did both. And the timing is perfect because the Act Thoughtful team has just expanded. We've brought on our first team member. Super psyched. And we'll be introducing her over the course of the next couple of weeks as well. But for now, suffice it to say that I'm right there along with you. For 20 years in corporate America, I hired and I led teams, but there is nothing quite like doing it as a business owner. And now I'm living it firsthand, side by side with a team that I'm linking arms with. A team that someday I hope can run my company without me there, because that's ultimately the goal. That's why a lot of people hire me. So, if your goal is to build the kind of strong team that can run the company when you're not there, it doesn't start 5 years from now when you want that. It starts now. So December and January, let's take a little bit of time to anchor our companies in what allows us to build and grow and develop incredibly strong teams. Strong teams that are proud to work with us and that we are proud to have. Get ready, buckle in, and let's start talking about what makes you an amazing leader of your business. Not just an owner, but a leader.